If I was planning a breakaway from the United States, this is exactly how the fuck I would do it. Number one, I would waste absolutely zero time in getting started. The time you give yourself to rethink it is time you offer to talk yourself out of it. So that's gonna be your first tip, is to get started immediately. Don't give yourself any time to question what you already decided you want to do. Your very second step is going to be to find a place that you want to live. Now, this is going to be a very important decision to make, because you don't want to move to a place where you're going to be unhappy and then have to redo this process all over again. So do your research. Start looking at what makes you unhappy about where you are and see if you can find the opposite of that in another place. And that's going to be hard to get a feel from just from the internet. So you might want to join some groups, get involved in the local communities online, talk to people, ask questions, get the real scoop from people who got boots on the ground. Just be sure to be thorough about that last step, because your step 3 is going to be to find and secure your stay. Now, this one might be a little tough because it's not always easy to secure a stay from a distance. Find out if a visa works, or if you need to get a residence or temporary residence or what have you. You may need to try to secure some employment. You may need to try to secure a place to live first. So these things aren't that easy to get when you live far away from where you're trying to go. So if you have the means, depending on where your forwarding location may be, maybe paying a visit might not be a bad idea. What I would do in this fourth step might be the easiest and one of the most fun, and it's get rid of everything you don't need. So if you got a place where you got mad rooms and all the rooms are filled with stuff and you can afford to get rid of this stuff, do so. Get rid of everything you do not need. Start selling things, start donating things, start giving things away, handing down to people, whatever you need to do. Make your transition as easy as possible by not carrying a lifetime worth of things with you. A lot of things can simply be replaced, but what I found out is that a lot of things you just really don't need. Your fifth step is going to be one of an emotional one, and that is to stick with the plan. Stick with it. And the reason this even gets a whole step to itself is because, from experience, between planning to go and actually going, lots of things will be happening in between there. Lots of emotional ups and downs, and that's a perfectly natural occurrence to happen for something that's so big, something so big in someone's life. But here's one tip for you if you really want a way to force yourself to stick with it. So especially if you're gonna fly, buy your ticket way in advance. So by the time the relocation date starts to creep around, you will have already bought your ticket and you don't even have to worry about it. It won't even stress you out because you did it a long time ago. Also, if you make that ticket non-refundable, there's no chance of you changing your mind either. For the sixth stage in leaving America or wherever you're leaving, what I would do is try as hard as I could to acclimate myself to where I am. What do I mean by that? What I mean is clear your mind of anything you've ever known about where you came from, because you are in a new place right now, and whether you know it or not, things are going to be difficult and different. So all the differences you see, all the things that are strange to you, all the things that make no sense in the beginning, you need to try to become used to as fast as possible. Whether that's getting used to the food or the laws or the pastimes or learning the language, I'm kind of talking to myself on that one. Whatever it might be, you need to try to acclimate yourself to where you are. It's a new place. If you try to hold on to every single thing that you've always known, you might fail a little bit. Now, that's not to say to drop who you are. That's not what I'm saying. And there's a lot of things that you might be used to that you probably cannot change. What I'm trying to say is don't be resistant to change just for the sake of being resistant to change. You decided to move there, so the onus is on you to get used to where you are. The seventh stage on if I was leaving my home country in 2023 is, again, once you get there, get out. From experience here in Germany, when I see foreigners show up, namely Americans, I find that they don't really get out and explore. They don't really go see things and discover what there is to see in this whole new place that they've moved to. Now, I don't know what that's due to really, but what I do find is after a while, they come to resent the place that they live at, and they blame their boredom or their lack of stimulation on the place that they're at. That's a real unfair way to judge a country. So if you happen to make it this far to the point that you're actually in your new location, you need to get out. You need to see all there is to see. Almost every place on the planet has historical spots you can go see, or attractions, even if you have to check out the tourist attractions in the beginning. And also, a lot of these places are quite similar to other places. Like in the world today, everywhere is almost exciting as everywhere else now. Don't make this huge step in your life, especially if you're going miles and miles away to a new place, only to stay in the house when you get there. Now, this last stage or step, whatever you want to call it, if you were leaving your country in 2023, is once you've gone from step 1 to step 7, step 8 for you is to be happy with your decision. Now, how does one do that, you might ask? Well, I would say from experience, the moment people start making you feel bad for your decision, the moment you cannot feel good about your decision when it comes to other people, it's time to cut people off. I know that sounds harsh and I know that sounds cold, but why should you let someone be so comfortable in making you feel so bad? That's not the way it should be, in my opinion. So step 8 is very important, man. You need to be happy with your decision. Don't let people make you second guess things, and it's almost inevitable that it will happen. I talked about this in this video right here. Check it out if you want, or YouTube thinks you might like this one. Pick one of these and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.
That's the only